Hey, I'm Dr. Pradeep Arora from Nagpur, and I am here to discuss with you the subject of rights of patient in emergency. I will take the provisions and laws one by one. Article 21 of the Constitution gives the guarantee of right to life. Now, right to life is extendable to right to health as well as the right to emergency care. Therefore, it means that no government hospital can refuse emergency care to any citizen. These fundamental rights are not exercisable against the private persons or private party. So therefore, government has to make special laws, special balance laws, so that private hospitals are also included in this obligation. In fact, they have, so it's obligatory for even the private hospitals to give emergency care to all patients. Now, I come to a special provision which is in criminal law domain, that is 166B, and it is always read with 357C Criminal Procedure Code. And two together, when read, the summative effect is that all hospitals have to give free first aid and subsequent treatment if required to acid-burn patients and patients of rape. Now, coming on to Supreme Court judgments, the landmark judgment is Pandit Paramanand Kataria versus Union of India, wherein Supreme Court legal formalities would not take precedence over the emergency care of accident victims. In Paschim Banga Khet Mazdoor Samiti versus State of West Bengal, the government was told by the Supreme Court that its hospital cannot refuse emergency of any type on the basis that the beds are not available. In Pravata Mukherjee versus Ruby General Hospital, National Consumer Forum held that private hospitals are obliged to give emergency care even if the patient is not in a position to pay or is not accompanied by any person. Then MCI regulations. In Regulation 211, it is mentioned that a physician can ask his patient to seek advice from fellow physician. It is quite acceptable, but he must treat the patient in emergency. No physician shall arbitrarily refuse treatment, but for good reason. If the ailment of patient is not within his experience, then the physician can refuse treatment and can refer the patient to another physician. So refusal has to be well-meaning. It cannot be arbitrary. So we come to Regulation 2.4, which says that physician can make the choice whom he will serve, he will not serve, but he should respond to request to assist the emergency. So should word is there, which is a directive clause, not obligatory. Now, coming on to bioethics, these are the four pillars on which rest the moral values which are followed by all medical professionals throughout the world. And first one is beneficence, that is to do good to the patient. Non-maleficence, not to do any harm to the patient while doing good to the patient. And third, the principle of autonomy, that consent for everything has to be obtained even if physician thinks that he is doing good to the patient. And fourthly, which is not so well understood, is justice, that when a physician is confronted with two competing choices, then his choice should be guided by the consideration that in which choice he will have the maximum survival benefit. Then we come to the principle of golden hour. That means like the day is at its best, in its most beautiful and best glory at particular time of the day. Similarly, after a medical emergency is there, there is a window of opportunity. This is the equivalent of golden hour, and in that window of opportunity, if best therapeutic effort is made, then the outcome can be best. Now this doctrine is more specially applicable to certain conditions like ST elevated myocardial infarction or heart attack, stroke, which we can also call it as brain hemorrhage, or in cases of trauma injury. But doesn't mean that this doctrine is confined to these three conditions only. Time factor is important in all emergencies, and earliest the treatment should be given, better it is. Now we come to Law Commission Report 201st, which was having great similarity to Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act 1986. It was legislated in USA, and it dealt with the similar subject as this Law Commission report, and which is the main issue, main topic of today's conversation, that is right of patient in emergency. So herein the emergency medical treatment was divided into three steps: screening and survey, that is when the patient comes in, the evaluation part, then the real action part in the form of stabilization, and then sending the patient or treating the patient within that healthcare facility. It made very special mention of the issue of reimbursement, that all those private healthcare units who are giving emergency care, free emergency care to needy patients, according to the dictate of law, they should be reasonably reimbursed within a time frame by the state, and they laid down a special section 10 in the drafted law, but it is yet to be implemented by the states. We come to Clinical Establishment Act 2010, which is followed in several states, and in one or the other section, and mostly it is section 12.2, which takes care of the provision of emergency care subject to availability of staff and facilities in that particular establishment. So to that extent, emergency care must be given to every patient. Similarly, provision is made in the Human Right Charter for Patients, which is issued by National Human Rights Commission 2018. And in clause 3, there is the right to emergency mentioned with all the details that we have already discussed. I hope that you must have liked my conversation and you must have been benefited by it and must have found it informative. Thank you very much.